Welcome to DubLife Diaries, the podcast where passion meets the open road. I'm Joe Person, your host, and also a lifelong dubber. Buckle up, because this ride is just beginning. This podcast is sponsored by Volksmania magazine. Good times, great cars, awesome Volksmaniacs. Visit Volksmania.com to learn more about this class-leading VW magazine. Okay, welcome back to another episode of DubLife Diaries. This week, we journey over to Hong Kong for today's show. I've got a true legend with me today in the off-road vehicles world, also in just Volkswagen history. Today, we have the pleasure of interviewing Victor Ma. He has also raced the grueling Dakar Rally. He's an author of the 4x4 Bible. He's built an incredible collection of rare off-road and military vehicles with an emphasis on some very rare Volkswagens. We're going to talk about those today. He's also the creator of a very cool RC radio-controlled Beetle that has all working components. I can't wait for you guys to see this thing. It's so awesome. We're going to dive into his VW collection today. We'll talk about some of the rarest and the most extreme VWs ever built inside the four-wheel drive community. He also has a four-wheel drive Beetle prototype, as well as many other legendary machines. Victor Ma, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So before we get started, I do have just a couple of shout outs that I want to give. One is to my sponsor, Volksmania magazine. This is the best VW magazine on the planet. I want to say thank you for your partnership and believing in this podcast. If you have not subscribed to Volksmania yet, please go ahead and do Volksmania.com. Use DubLife10 when you check out, DubLife10, and this gives you 10% off. This also allows them to track where some of their new subscriptions are coming from. So if you use DubLife10, they say, hey, this partnership, this sponsorship is working. Also, want to give a shout out to Chris Vallone, Classic VW Bugs. Thank you for connecting me or recommending that I connect with Victor. Chris, you're the reason why I connected with Victor, so thank you. Also, shout out to V-Dubs Over the Skyway happening this Sunday, 4/13. We have over 200 classic cars registered. Watch for the feature for this ride in Volksmania magazine coming out in the late summer. Also, shout out to V-Dubs on the Pier. That's May 24th on the St. Pete Pier. Guys, this is no run-of-the-mill car show, all right? This is going to be an amazing car show. We'll have over 200 classic cars out at the St. Pete Pier. This is the first car show that has been approved at the St. Pete Pier since the new construction. So, not only do you have an opportunity to come hang out with a bunch of cool folks, but you've also got an opportunity to make history, because we are the first car club that's allowed back on the St. Pete Pier. So how awesome is that? My last shout out is to Dino Styles, Dino's Garage in DC Metro. If you're up in that area, that is your guy. Very reliable Volkswagen mechanic. You know what they say, everybody needs a good Volkswagen mechanic. Okay, Victor, back to you. Let's start at the very beginning of how everything started for you in your Volkswagen addiction. What's your first ever Volkswagen? What drew you to the brand?
When I am very young, I moved from Shanghai to Hong Kong, maybe 10 years old. My grandfather used a Jaguar, carry me and to show me Hong Kong. And when he saw a Beetle, he told me Beetle can be everything. And I don't understand, for a kid 10 years old, don't understand what it means Beetle can be everything. And then later, he saw a buggy, twin buggy. He told me this is cut the chassis, make it a 2-meter wheelbase and put the fiberglass body. And then I also saw some copy Ferrari, also built by Beetle. So for a kid, very interesting. A car can be everything.
Yeah.
Even a Willys Jeep I saw in Hong Kong, it is no front engine. It is a rear-wheel drive. It is also based on a Beetle, a old Beetle. So for me, this is the most interesting car. And then we played the Tamiya model, at that time, RC model. It also got a buggy and a Beetle body buggy. They are the same chassis, so I understand. And my first Volkswagen, long time ago, it is when I am maybe 21 years old. It is a Golf Mark 1 convertible. It is not for me, for my wife. I married very early. At 20, I married with my wife. And my first vintage Beetle are not the Beetle, the common gear.
Hey,
Because the common gear looks very beautiful shape.
I have one, a 71.
My one is a 74.
That's the
It
last.
is not good shape because the light is too big.
That's the last year of the Carmen Ghia, and
Yes.
and it also the 74 is the only model with no back seat. You know, you've collected and you've restored some of the rarest off-road style Volkswagen military vehicles. Tell me what's truly special about these types of Volkswagens.
When I am 10 years old, I bought the Tamiya military model series. I bought the Kuba wagon, and I bought the swimming wagon. And I have one question. They never show the Kuba wagon are four-wheel drive. I believe for military vehicle must be four-wheel drive, right? But when I got that model is very simple. No show the engine, no show the drive system. And I always believe it is four-wheel drive, unless when I find some information. At that time, no internet, right?
Right.
Because 1979, and I got a book about Volkswagen. And something let me quite interesting is the car is rear-wheel drive. In the front, nothing. And after I played the radio control, I know because the real mount engine and the rear-wheel drive can go anywhere. Because normal passenger car or normal car, truck, front engine, rear-wheel drive. So front axle very heavy. The rear is nothing, right?
That's
So
right.
you cannot use a rear-wheel drive to off-road for normal vehicle. But the Beetle not the same because the motor heavy things are at the back, so it still can go anywhere. And
So-
this is the first for me very interesting is why a two-wheel drive vehicle can go anywhere.
because of the design. So what you're
Yes.
what you're describing, that's what
Yes.
makes them, especially the Kubel wagon and the Baja Bug, any of them on that chassis. That's what you're saying. That's what makes them so special.
Yes.
The weight differential. Yes.
It show everything. The rear mount engine and the rear wheel drive,
Yes.
even in the power axle here. Because at that time, they cannot do good quality CV joint. They can't. So what they are doing for independent suspension to make it the ground more tall is to use the power axle.
Yeah.
Today, everybody know, right? But at that time, this is really, really high technology.
Yeah.
And even with limited slip differential, self-locking differential, this is terrible because American Jeep never have limited slip differential. And the front are very light. Front, very light. I can use the rear wheel drive. Now it's rear wheel drive.
It really works.
When I put this, yes.
Now, you also own a very rare 1941 Type 877, which is one of the earliest four-wheel drives, right?
Yes.
Tell me how you found that and what it took to restore that.
For me, after 2000, that means 25 years ago, I tried to German to find everything about four-wheel drive Beetle. And my first four-wheel drive are not the Beetle because the Beetle are so rare, right?
Right.
I find a prototype of the swimming wagon from Mr. Yallen. Mr. Yallen is a very tall guy. He is, for me, it's 1.79. Mr. Yallen is 1.9. He is an old man. At that time, he is already 78 years old. And he is a soldier in World War II. He told me the story about why he wanted a swimming wagon. He is fighting in Russia, and one day his commander used a swimming wagon and then disappear. That means they have no helicopter anymore. And later he captured by Russian army, and he is a lucky one. He is a survivor. Yeah. During those time, he told himself if he can survive, he wants a swimming wagon. And he promised me one day when he is cannot own this classic car, he will show me. And 2001, I will remember, 2001, he contacted me. At that time, he cannot speak English, but we have the same hobby. So everything is easy. He find his friend to send me, at that time, not email, maybe a call, I think, because the email in Hong Kong is popular in 2001, but in German, for old people, not popular.
Right.
Or he sent me a letter. I can't remember. Maybe send me a letter. And I fly to his home again and bargain with the car. He sold me the car, not expensive at that time, but the shop also not cheap because the market price. After I got the car, we test in the river, German river, and he showed me how to landing because he told me landing are most dangerous for swimming wagon. You know why? Because GPA got reverse gear, but the swimming wagon no reverse gear. So that means you cannot choose the wrong link for landing. This is the big difference. And I remember I learned about 10 times or more than 10 times, also success, because I play off-road for a long time, since I'm 14. It is the same as you drive off-road when sleeping in the muddy condition. And this is my first swimming wagon. And I wanted to tell you something true. When I buy the Tamiya model about the swimming wagon, they show me the information are all wrong.
What was wrong about it?
What means all wrong? What means all wrong? The swimming wagon don't have a transfer case about low gear. They only, when you use the first gear, it got a special low. Another one, it can be forward, super low gear. But the reverse can't. No super low gear, but it got four-wheel drive, 4 gear. So it got 5 gear totally.
Forward only, though.
First for low gear is a 4 gear, right? But for off-road, it got super low gear, but only for forward.
Right.
Not for backward. But you still can use 4 normal speed, 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. But the Tamiya not tell you like that, so mistake. And it is a joking because I tell Mr. Yallen, I know, but he say no. And the second is about, I saw the car, something wrong. And Mr. Yallen tell me, you are so lucky. This is one of 125 prototype.
Wow.
Made by Porsche Workshop.
That prototype is a 877?
No, 166.
166.
Chassis number is, my chassis number is 166 stroke. And then it is 115. That means 115 mod made. Total is 125 made. 125. And totally is free survivor at that time. Totally free survivor. Now you can check it's 5. Why? Somebody find the rust chassis a little bit. It is they make a Volkswagen pass working again. So now total have 5 survivor in 125.
Now this is you behind me, right?
Yes.
And that's 2 of your 4-wheel drive prototypes?
No. This one.
Here?
Yes. No. That another side.
This one.
This is a 82E. 82E is 2-wheel drive off-road sedan.
Okay.
Cooper wagon chassis. Cooper wagon front is no drive, no differential, only rear, but the factory axle and the limited slipper differential inside, and put a Beetle body. So what do we call all? So you can call high leg. Yes, 82E. Totally, I got 2 82E. I got another one under restore. Very, very nice condition. Another one. I mean, the chassis nearly perfect. In 2001, I wrote something about four-wheel drive. I compare with Willys Jeep and the Beetle. I think Beetle, Volkswagen are more earlier than any Jeep because from 1939, the first four-wheel drive prototype chassis already been made. It is called Type TYP. German is TYP, not TYPE. 86. What the difference between 86 or 87? 86 is without the Volkswagen.
Okay.
Dr. Porsche discovered immediately from the ground, not tall enough. So after 1 month, they make the Volkswagen here at the rear to make it 2 or 3 inch more. I can show you the Volkswagen. Maybe I have here. Wait a moment. So heavy.
That's awesome, man.
Can you see?
I see.
About 3 inch higher than normal one. And here you can see the logo, the early Volkswagen World War II logo. Can you see?
I can.
Very
Wow.
heavy, this one.
That's crazy.
And it's also got a gear ratio between these two gears. And then you can use a big wheel, right? If not, the engine is too small power. Because the first Beetle is less than 1 liter engine. Less than 1 liter. So it only got maybe 21, 22 horsepower. And later, they discovered the engine not powerful enough. They make the 1.1 liter, 1131 something, 1131 cc, and it got 24.5 horsepower. You can believe they are so clever to design this car. And the German lose World War One, right? So they are not allowed to do anything like today, Japan, right? They are not allowed to build anything. They are not allowed to build the tank. They are not allowed to build the four-wheel drive off-road vehicle. And it is a cheating, They build the Beetle, and the Beetle can beat everything.
That's right.
From a normal Type 60, normal sedan, to be a off-road sedan, 82E, and then to be a four-wheel drive, 877.
Yes. That I want to talk about the 877. How does the 877 feel when you're driving it compared to a standard Beetle?
That means 82E and the 877, it is nearly similar because engine the same, front suspension, rear suspension the same. The only thing is 877 is a little bit heavier in front because it got a drive shaft from the rear to the front, and it got the front differential. The only difference is like this. But you must say, compare with Willys. Willys is a truck. My first collection is a Willys, when I'm 15.
I see it in the pictures that you sent me. I'm looking at it.
When I'm 15, I go to Philippines to buy 2 Willys. And then I flew because classic car in poor country, all very bad, all not original. And when I'm 16, I go to California to buy 1 Willys. I keep until today. I still got that Willys. And the Willys is just a truck. You know what it means, a truck? Leaf spring suspension and the whole axle. And no any technology. Even the engine is a side valve. Do you understand? At that time, no overhead cam. Valve and the plug is in another room. So this is not a high performance engine, but you can see Beetle. Really overhead cam, right?
Yes.
Not the same level. They are.
No. And that's why we love them.
And the American people always believe Jeep are the first small four-wheel drive vehicle. No. In 2001, I wrote something, and there's many people very angry. But I showed them the truth because before World War II, even before Beetle, German already got a 4x4x4. What it means 4x4x4? Four-wheel drive, four-wheel independent double A-arm suspension, four-wheel steering, full-time four-wheel drive.
Whoa!
This is one of my collection too, a prototype.
Whoa! What is that model?
It is 1936. early than Jeep for 5 years, right?
Yeah. Everybody can hear that.
In the most incredible is even free limited slip differential on this car.
Technology was just
Full-time four-wheel drive.
and steering.
I need to tell you something. I don't like a war, For me, it's I like a collection the high technology vehicle, but I don't like to have a war. Nobody like a war, right?
Right.
Because we are just normal people. We are not a king.
Right.
If you and me are king, maybe we like it because we can occupy other kings. But for us, we like peace, right?
That's right.
And one thing most interesting is before World War II, Hitler already paid lots of money for the engineering to design something very interesting. And why Hitler will lose the war? Because the money for the engineering to build their dream, and really it's so simple. But the A 4x4x4 is so complicated. Even at that time, normal mechanic cannot repair because it's too complicated.
Right.
Either got CB job, either got free differential, either got free LSD, limited slip differential, either got four-way steering. And maybe you don't know the story. German in Africa, one captured by one four-way steering one, captured by British Army, and the car sent to US, and the wheels copy immediately, four-way steering. But they don't understand my one can back to two-way steering. If this four-way steering, the car will lose control in high speed, more than 30 kilometers. When rear wheel steering, it is very difficult to control.
Sure.
Just like a forklift. Forklift, you cannot drive high speed, right?
Right. Because the back will swing around.
The rear wheel steering.
Yeah.
Yes. And the one German made, it can back to two-wheel steering. This is the big difference. And the Beetle are the best because German engineering understand if you build a 4x4x4, still carry 4 passenger or 5 passenger maximum. But the Volkswagen two-wheel drive also can go anywhere and more light. And it only use 30% of the material. This is why Volkswagen so success. And the four-wheel steering, they only build a limited because it's too complicated. And these cars are really a history. In Volkswagen Museum, they are quite unhappy when I wrote that at the 2001. You can see the record. What did they say? They say 82E off-road sedan. They build more than handful, a little bit. I mean, so 500 something. And they say the four-wheel drive Beetle also build handful. I say not true. You know why? In past 20 years, I always see eBay until this 5 years I stopped. I collection the photograph, wartime photograph. I nearly cannot find any four-wheel drive Beetle photograph. A commander must have a money to buy a camera, right? Not a soldier. The car called Commander Wagon. This car called Commander Wagon. I buy so many photos. They are also 82E. I only got one photo. It is a four-wheel drive. It is not the test photo. You only can find the 87 is 87.7 is the Porsche workshop test the car photo. And I got one, it's not. And the car is turned over. P2 is very difficult to turn over. And the top is damaged, but there's still nothing big accident. Just turn over and a little bit crash here. I only can find one photo. And what I believe, Normandy, before I think 7 years ago, I stopped. Before every year I go to Normandy. You know why?
Why?
I want to talk with the old soldier. History is not a truth. History is the winner. He wrote something. Do you understand? If you are a king, I am a king. My history, your history is you are happy. Somebody to write your success. If somebody lose, they will not have money to make a history.
Right.
History, just a story. I believe it's from the old soldier because they are really fighting at that time. And all the German soldier at that time told me they never see a four-wheel drive Volkswagen that is four-wheel drive Beetle. Only semi-wagon. You know why? Because German are very small country, right? And that they are material shortage. How small compare US or China, right? German, if you compare in US or compare in China, you can see the map, how small. And they don't have material. If a two-wheel drive can off-road, why need a build four-wheel drive? Why swimming wagon need a four-wheel drive? Because it's so simple. When you're landing, you need a front power because the landing must have an angle.
Right.
The landing must be mud condition, right? This is why. And the Volkswagen Museum are very unhappy with this. But I say, I flew so many years. The answer is like that. If same both handful, why I can't buy any photo in the eBay? You know, German German people they don't like World War II vehicle. Maybe you don't know, or maybe you know. If you build a King Tiger model, it can show in everywhere in the world, but not in German. The German people they hate the war. One crazy guy make all the men go to die, even children. Right?
Yeah.
Do you think it is correct? Now, not many people are really German, to be honest, because 10 years old children need the fighting in the 1944. If you are a boy in 1944, you need to go to fighting. Even a gun told than you or similar. So how the people, German people will like the war, right? World War One, World War Two, all the men go to die. Just like if today we are living in Russia, you and me, because we are men, you need fighting. Fighting for what? Fighting for a crazy guy, right?
Especially in the US right now. Holy crap. Let's talk about the Volkswagen Iltis. This is the other off-road. Some say the most underrated off-road vehicle ever built. How does it perform to these other four-wheel drives that we're talking about? Now, the Iltis was actually the one that was the inspiration for Audi's Quattro four-wheel drive system or all-wheel drive system, right?
2000, when I finished run the world trip, in 1999, I used 131 days from Greece to Egypt, from Egypt to Jerusalem, from Jerusalem to Jordan, from Jordan to Iraq, from Iraq to Iran, and then back to China, from India, Pakistan, and then back to China. I go to Europe to buy a Volkswagen 1A3. And after test drive, I cannot believe it is not a normal 4x4. You know, at that time, SUV, even not many SUV, just got a RAV4 CRV, Japan made, right? Not many SUV, but that is a military vehicle. And after I test drive, I cannot believe my feeling. It is how stable. It is independent front and rear suspension, and the design is like a double A, but the top A not use a arm, not use a arm. They use a lift spring to put on the both, so looks like a double A arm suspension. And the car is super nice. Also got the D-flop, 100% D-flop. Why? Because independent suspension, the free travel is not like a normal car, normal truck. So they put a 2D flop front and rear, and a very very amazing drive. It drive on the road just like any good passenger car. You cannot believe.
That's
and
awesome.
This is the first time. Remember, this is a 70s design.
Right.
70s. And it used in at that time it is still called West German Army, right? Because German it got East German and West German, and Canada, just your neighbor, they also got some interesting. And remember, part-time four-wheel drive, independent suspension, and the 2D flop front and rear. This is how amazing design at that time, 70s. Even G-Wagon haven't born before G-Wagon. And the G-Wagon also use truck type axle, just the coil spring. So performance cannot compare.
Right.
And I don't know why they don't build many for civilian. They only build limited for civilian. And even today, I still got the gearbox. I buy some spare gearbox because I wanted to see how they make the gearbox and the first case inside. The design are totally different as normal 4x4. And also one D-floor in front.
Out of your off-road military style vehicles, meaning the Volkswagens, which one gets the most attention? Maybe at like car shows or when you're out with it. What car gets the most attention?
So many people go to Hong Kong, find me in the wall everywhere because I got a four-wheel drive Beetle.
Right.
My shop in Hong Kong, and this few years I have not go outside. Before Paris to Dakar, every year I at least 4 months not in Hong Kong. And now I'm 56 years old. And 5 years ago, I stopped to go outside. So many people visit me during this 5 years. And even you are welcome to Hong Kong. I can show you everybody, if they like a four-wheel drive, they like a supercar, they like a classic car, are welcome. Because I got a garage in Hong Kong. For our city, it's not small because we got 3 shops together. And many people also from US to find me because all the four-wheel drive Beetle are in Europe.
They're very, very rare.
I've never Hometown Museum.
I never even heard
Volkswagen Museum.
Before I talked to you, and I've been a Volkswagen enthusiast, most of my life. I'm 47 years old. And before I talked to you, I never even knew.
You're so young, 47.
I never even knew that a Beetle had a four-wheel drive.
This is why I like to build a model, radio control model, to show every Volkswagen lover.
So we're going to talk about that here in just a moment, but I want to ask you about any more of your builds. You've built some crazy stuff, right? I mean, you've got how many cars do you have? 30, 33?
After I got more than 30, I haven't calculated.
He lost count at 30, but amazing. He's got an old Testarossa. I got pictures of all of these cars from the past, but an amazing collection. I think this might be a good time to talk about this insane radio control model that you built. On the box, it says the people's car, right? And let's talk about that. This fascinated me. The first time you and I connected and had a conversation, you showed me, like you are now, you showed me on video, what this car was. And I really didn't understand until you showed me all of the working components, all the way down to even the fan belt spins. I mean, I was blown away. So tell the listeners about this RC car, because from what I understand, they can even buy one from you, right?
You cannot find any good Beetle model in the market because no real car mechanic help to design radio control, right? And especially this is so rare vehicle. If I don't do that, nobody will do that.
You're right. Because I've seen some radio control Beetles, and they're garbage. they're not like what I saw from you.
5 years ago, a China manufacturer contacted me. They are doing FMS. They are doing the flight airplane model, and they wanted to do radio control car, and asked me what to do. I tell them, in the market they have everything. How about realistic RC model? They say, why not? But I told them very expensive to build because realistic. Display model quality, but with running gear. And also not just can walk, also with high performance like a real car. And I'm so lucky they accept this. So a FMS do the airplane, and then suddenly they also do another link. It's about the realistic RC model. Now they are quite success. I am their engineering consultant. I mean, I told the engineering how to do because 5 years ago, if you remember, we cannot go cross the border. Everything locked down. But the lucky, we got the modern telephone, right? So just like now,
That's
we
right.
can talk with each other. Even
right.
you are in America, I'm in Hong Kong.
That's right.
We are long distance. So lucky. And that they are engineering so clever. Everything just need to discuss 2 or 3 times. They can build a prototype.
Now,
and so lucky. This is why.
I'm going
And
to put,
for me,
when we post this podcast, I'm going to put a link to the videos that you sent me, so people can see this model. But you have one here, right?
even this one.
Wow, look at that.
A prototype.
That's a prototype, and that's prototype. That's Hitler in there, yeah?
Yes.
That's amazing. Now, what I was fascinated by with all of the cars that you build, especially these prototypes, or these models, is the door handles work. The levers inside work. The steering wheel works. The differential works. Everything works.
Even the differential with limited sleeping function.
Look at
everything working.
The door opens and closes. Engine in the back. The belt works. That's a split window.
Even the light working.
The lights work.
Yes.
The hood pops.
Everything is working.
Now, this is the most realistic model RC car that I've ever seen. Unbelievable.
And the price is everybody can afford. Very low price.
In US, how much is that? About $300, $350, something like that?
Maybe less.
Okay.
Maybe less.
Which?
And including everything.
Yeah.
When you got it, it is ready to run.
Yeah, I want one. I want one. I think they're so cool.
Now maybe got trouble because the tax.
Now with tariffs. Yikes.
Yeah. I don't know what happen soon, because the tax is direct to you, not to me.
That's right. 125%, they said today on the news.
And why you have a vote, and then you need to pay a lot of tax. Everything you need to pay tax.
Yeah, that's how it is here. Tax. Biggest gangsters in the world is the IRS and the taxes.
I believe the world is just like a big village. Just now we can talk with each other. Maybe one day you talk with me, you need to pay tax.
It's probably coming soon. Let's hope not, though, because I appreciate the opportunity to be able to communicate with you in Hong Kong, me in Central Florida, USA, and be able just to have a conversation like this. Something I wanted to ask you was, if there's VW fans out there that are interested in off-road or military Volkswagens, what would you say a good starting point would be for them to start to understand and discover the four-wheel drive side of things?
I believe if you like a Volkswagen and you want to remember, I don't think US got them. Maybe you need to buy from Europe, because there's still many ex-army one in very good condition in Europe, I believe. And also the van, the VW van, some got 4-wheel drive.
They do.
You can find in US, I think. But the Golf 4-wheel drive maybe very less, right? Any Golf 4-wheel drive in your country?
No.
Golf got a 4-wheel drive.
Not here.
But not the new one. The new one is for high performance. I mean, the old one is got lift kit, so you can see can go anywhere. The modern one, V6 one, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, not for off-road.
If people want to find you and they want to find your collection and they want to see your work and they might want to find these smaller RC cars, how can they follow you?
I have a YouTube channel. It's called Realistic RC Model. And not only the Volkswagen model. It is all about 70s to 80s RC car history. And I believe all the boy like that, because at that time when maybe you got one, or even maybe too expensive, but that you still want one, and you always in showroom to see the toy showroom to see them. I'm so lucky. I got all of them when I'm a kid.
What is your YouTube handle? What is the YouTube channel called?
Realistic RC model.
Realistic RC model.
RC model. Yes, I can send you the link. And every week we have one video. And my English is poor, but I do everything by myself. Even I use a single hand, use a iPhone and radio control the car.
Wow, that's amazing, Victor. This has been incredible. Your knowledge and your passion for rare Volkswagens is next level. I know the Volkswagen community is going to love this episode. I know it's a little bit with a language barrier. It's a little bit hard to understand, but I think it adds to the mystery. It's okay. You're patient. I'm patient. And I think the Volkswagen community is going to love this episode, and then also love to find you and be able to learn and connect and understand. I'm blown away by you and some of these prototypes and these vehicles that you own, and by the prototype models that you build with everything functioning all the way down to headlights. I mean, I'm just blown away. I thank you for your time tonight. I don't want to take too much of it, but I thank you so much for coming on to the podcast and sharing with everybody. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Yes, you're welcome.
And that's a wrap for this episode of DubLife Diaries. Thanks for riding along with us and diving into these incredible stories of the people in the dubs that drive their dreams. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe or hit that follow button so you never miss an adventure. Do you have a story to tell or know somebody else who's living the dub life? Awesome! Reach out to us. You can find us on all socials at DubLife Diaries, or shoot me an email. I'm not hard to find. DubLifeDiaries@gmail.com. Until next time, keep the engines humming and the wheels turning, and always follow the road that inspires you. This is Joe Person. I'm signing off. I'll catch you on the next ride.